in slope-intercept form. Writing equations in slope-intercept form. All right, we have been, in the last section, we learned what slope-intercept form of the equation was, and we learned how to graph the slope, graph a line given just the slope and the y-intercept. Today we're going to learn how to write an equation given the slope and a point, and we're going to learn how to write an equation given 2 points. Two vocabulary words, constraint and linear extrapolation. We will touch on those later. All right, so first we're going to learn how to write an equation when we're given the slope and when we're given 1 point that is not b, that is not the y-intercept. All right, and here is an example. We have an equation that passes through the line 2, 1 and has a slope of 3. Okay, so our first step in doing this is we're going to solve for b, or the y-intercept. And then the second step, we'll write the equation. All right, let's try this. So we have we're going to use the point 2, 1, right? And that's our x value, and that's our value for y. Okay, so let's find the y-intercept. Let's find b. Well, we know x is 2 and y is 1. So y equals mx plus b. We're going to put the 1 where the y is. We know the slope. Let's put in that on our grocery list. We know the slope is 3, so we can put 3 there. And we know x is 2 plus b. So 1 equals 6 plus b. We're going to subtract. We're solving for b, right? We're trying to find out what b is. We find out that b is a negative 5. Okay, so b is negative 5. We now have our y-intercept, and we also have our slope. So we can now write our linear equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals m is 3, x plus b, which is plus a negative 5, or in simplest form, y equals 3x minus 5. And there's the answer to that problem. Now that's not bad, is it? Okay, here are a couple problems for you to try. Now, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to write an equation given 2 points. We're going to be given A, and we're going to be given a point B. And we'll be able to write a linear equation in slope-intercept form by just having 2 points on that graph. Okay, here's an example. We have the problem. They want us to write an equation of a line that passes through this pair of points. So here's our pairs of points, 3, 1 and 2, 4. Well, if you have 2 points, then you can find the slope, right? We know that formula to be y equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we're going to find the slope. In step 1, the first thing we're going to do is find the slope. All right, so we're going to use the point 3, 1 and 2, 4, right? So this will be x sub 1, this will be y sub 1, this will be x sub 2, this will be y sub 2. So 4 minus 1 over 2 minus 3 will give us 3 minus 1, or a slope of negative 3. Okay, so we found the slope. So now we know how to find the y. Our second step will be to find the y-intercept, or b. We have the slope, and we have points, right? We already know how to do this if we have a point and the slope. We just learned that a second ago. So let's try it and see if we can do this. So we have a slope that's negative 3. We have an x value. We can pick either point. I'm going to pick the point 3, 1. I'm just going to pick the first point. It doesn't matter which point I use. So x will be 3 and y will be 1. And we're going to solve for b. We're going to find the y-intercept. So y is 1. Our slope is -3. Let me step back. Let me write the equation first for you. Y equals mx plus b. Now let's substitute in. 1 is y, m is -3, x is 3, and we're solving for b. So 1 equals -9 plus b. Add 9 to both sides. To solve for b, we find out that b is 10. So b equals 10. Okay, good. We have our slope. Our slope is -3. Now we can write an equation in slope-intercept form because we have both the slope and the intercept. Y equals mx plus b. So y equals our slope, which is -3, times x, plus b, which is 10. There's our answer. All right, let's try one more. Remember, it doesn't matter which point you use. All right? And also remember, we're going to do 3 steps in these problems. We're going to find the slope, we're going to find the y-intercept, and then we're going to write the equation. All right. Here are our points up at the top of the page. Let's find the slope first. We have x sub 1. I'm going to move that down. Sorry, guys. We have -4 comma -2, so that's x1, y1, and we have -5 comma -6. I really recommend that you write the points on your paper first when you're doing these problems, and then go ahead and label them x2, y2. All right, to find the slope, we know y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so y2 is -6 minus a -2 over -5 minus a -4. Our minuses change to plus. We get a -4 over -1. A -4 divided by a -1 is going to make a +4. So our slope is 4, or if you want to think of it when you're graphing, as 4 over 1. All right, we have the slope. Now we can find the y-intercept. We're going to pick a point, and I'm going to pick -4 comma -2. It does not matter which of those 2 points I picked. And this will be my x value, and this will be my y value. And we're going to find the y-intercept by substituting in what values we have in our slope-intercept form. So x will be -4. Y will be -2, and m will be 4. Thank you. Okay, we're going to put those into this equation. So y is -2 equals m, which is 4, times x, which is -4, plus b, and we're going to solve for b. So -2 equals -16 plus b. Add 16 to both sides. And we find out that 14 is what equals b. So our y-intercept is b, right? So where it's going to be intercept on the graph is up at 0, 14, right? That's what the y-intercept means. Okay, we can write this equation. So we're going to write the equation y equals mx plus b. We know that m is 4 and b is 14. So y equals 4x plus 14. And there you go. All right. Here's some practice problems for you. Good luck with those. Moving along, we're going to talk about some real-life problems. And when you hear the term constraint in math, it is just talking about a condition that's been applied to the situation. So a constraint is a condition that a solution must satisfy. So, you know, your parents might put certain constraints on you, right? They may say to you, you can go over to, you know, your friend's house as long as you are home by 9:30. So the constraint is you can go, but you have to satisfy this, and you have to be home by 9:30. So in math, the constraint is a condition that a solution must satisfy. And in this case, you know, our constraints are the equations. They're the 2x plus y equals 7. That's the constraint to find the solution. All right, so that's what they just mean when you see the word constraint in mathematics. All right, here's our real world problem. We have a graph that shows the number of domestic flights in the U.S. from 2004 to 2008. And we have to write an equation. Write an equation that could be used to predict the number of flights if it continues to decrease at the same rate. Okay, so we know the number of flights, right? 2004 is 9.97 million. 2005 is 10.04 million, and so on. All right. So we're going to let X represent the number of years since 2000, all right? And we're going to let Y represent the number of flights. Okay, so let's label our table that way. This will be X, and this will be Y, all right? Now, and as you notice, so these are our points. This point will be 4, 9.97. All right. So we're going to compare 2004 all the way down to 2008. So 8 will be 8, 9.37. And 2008, we're just going to simplify that to 8. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Sorry, guys. Go back here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we have 2 points, right, guys? So the first thing we're going to do is find the slope. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Right, over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So our y values are 9.37 and 9.97. And we're going to subtract those and put that over the years. 08, take away 04. And we find out that the slope is negative 0.15. So now we have the slope. We had 2 points, now we have the slope. Now we're going to find B. All right, step 1. Step 2 is find B. So B is, we're going to use one of the points. In this case, we're going to use 8 and 9, 9.37. And you're substituting in 9.37 for y, the 8 for the x, and the slope negative 0.15. And we're going to solve for find B. And we find that B is 10.57. All right? Now the last step is you're going to write the equation. M equals, using the things we know. We know B and we know M. And we do that and we see that M equals negative 0.15 x plus 10.57. All right? Let's come back here. All right, here's a guided practice for you on that. And I think that's where we're going to stop this video today. Promise Maria a shout out. So Maria, your shout out is that you can pick which problem you want to do on the board tomorrow. And Ethan, I think we ought to ask you to do this problem since it's your problem. And I will talk to you guys later.